Now to create a straight edge on this, what we're going to do is duplicate the background. Just call it background copy. And then we're going to press Control and A, and that selects everything. And then we'll go to Edit and Stroke. As far as the width is going to affect how thick your frame is. So if you want a thicker frame, you're going to want, 40 or 50 pixels. If you want a thinner frame, you choose like 20. And then as far as the frame color goes, for this one I would pick black, but you could actually pick white or blue. It's going to be around the image, so just keep that in mind. We're going to set the opacity at about 50. So the frame is going to be a little see-through. And then we're going to click OK. Okay. And you can kind of see that frame. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now, if you decide, gee, I would have rather liked it thicker, just press Control and Z. Go back in, Edit and Stroke. Make it 50. And now you have a thicker frame. It's kind of personal preference. If you like it thicker, great. If you like a little thinner frame, that's fine too. Now I'm going to press Control and D, get rid of the ants. And then what we're going to do is kind of copy the frame onto its own layer so that we can make it look a little bit more 3D. So we need to set the feathering to 0. And we've got the elliptical marquee. We're going to drag over the inside area. And then we're going to go to Select and Inverse. And so now it has selected everything but the inside. And we're going to go to Edit and Copy, and Edit and Paste. And that puts the frame on its own layer. And with the frame on its own layer, we can do the bevel and emboss. We can do the drop shadow. Okay, you can contour it. You can even add a little texture to it if you want. And click OK. But that puts it on its own layer, and then you can make some changes to it. Now, one filter that actually looks good with this is Fragment. A use that I found for the Fragment filter. You remember when we talked about filters? Fragment makes it look like you're in an earthquake. But when you apply it to this, it actually kind of enhances the 3D. Now, once you have this, if you decide, gee, I would have liked that frame in a solid color, I don't really like it as well see-through. Remember, because the frame is now on its own layer, you can do a color overlay. Okay, although green would not be my color of choice. Okay, you can do a color overlay on that. Okay, and then you could display or hide it. Okay, but there's lots of things that you can do when the frame is in its own layer. Okay, so this is a straight edge frame. Now, there is another way that you can do frames. I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to hide this. I'm going to select the background and insert a layer. I'm going to rename it Picture Frame. Now, not everybody is going to be able to do this because you need a pretty strong, powerful graphic card to be able to use this filter. But once you've got your picture frame layer, I'm going to go to Filter, and we're going to go to Render. and we're going to choose picture frame. Now, if picture frame is dimmed, you cannot use it. And it's most likely your graphic card. And as I said, you need a pretty powerful graphic card to use this. But first, what you want to do is pick a frame that you like. Okay, and once you've picked a frame, you can adjust the color. Now, if you want to pick, I would probably pick a color that kind of goes with your scene, or maybe black or white. Okay, and then once you've picked your color, I wouldn't adjust the margin because the margin is actually going to move it in, but you certainly can affect the size. Okay. So do you want a little heavier frame or a thinner frame? And you can change the arrangement. And that really changes the look of your frame. Now, this particular frame doesn't have any decorations. It doesn't have leaves. It doesn't have flowers. But if you chose one with those, you can actually control the numbers that are displayed. So once you have the color, the size, the arrangement you like, you're going to click OK. And now you have a frame. Now, because the frame is on its own layer, I don't like it that the little corners are showing. So what I would probably do is press Control and T, and I would just resize it just a little bit so that I don't have those corners showing. Okay, and then once you're done, you can save your changes, and you don't have to do both the straight edge and the picture frame. You only have to do one or the other.